Okay, Sistas fans. Now, I honestly don't know what to really say about this particular topic, but I feel like Andi, maybe I'm giving her too much credit because the writing for Andi is just really inconsistent. I mean, it felt like this season they were trying to make Andi a bit more than just a punching bag by having her do like undercover detective work, behind the scenes with Penelope in order to bring Gary down once and for all. But then there are more moments than, stronger moments for Andi where she's like, oh, she's intelligent, she's using resources. But now it's like, no, she's just really weak and pathetic and has to have Fatima as her bodyguard all the time and isn't able to stand up for herself to anybody, whether it be her new client Marie, her quote unquote best friend Karen, her ex Gary, her, partner on this particular client case, Hayden. She's just constantly being pushed around. And it's weird because I thought they were doing something different with Andi for a change. But in terms of what we know of what's coming later this season, with her seemingly having to marry Gary in order to save Jordan's life and also save Gary's own skin by having her get, married to him so she won't be able to testify against him in court, to help out the feds bring him down. I wonder if Andi potentially could get the one up on Gary. I mean, here's the thing. Even if Gary gets her to go through, with the proposal and going to the wedding and whatnot, how is he going to make sure she doesn't run her mouth? I mean, maybe he just lets her know on the spot, oh, yeah, and if you tell anybody about the reason why you're marrying me, your boyfriend's dead. Like, if I find out you tell any of your girls or if you talk to the police about it, you're dead. I think Andi's going to find either Andi or somebody like Fatima's going to be like, nah. I mean, imagine this. Maybe this is just way too much wishful thinking, but it would be interesting if Karen and Fatima, maybe even Danny, kind of come together as like, no, they all agree on the fact that there's no way Andi would go back to Gary in this scenario. Yeah, she's gone back to him plenty of times before in the past, but for her to be with Jordan for all these months and everything that's been coming out about Gary with the FBI raids and everything, why in the world would she do this unless, and then there's something else involved? Like, wait a minute, has anybody seen Jordan? I'm under the impression that after Ethan drugs Jordan's or spikes his drink or whatever and he passes out, Jordan is held captive. And maybe he's being held by Hudson or some of Gary's crew. I don't know. But I would not be surprised. It would be pretty cool if like Fatima called in reinforcements from Madam to find Jordan's location. And maybe the wedding is happening. But before they can get to the I do's, Fatima or somebody alerts Andi, hey, Jordan's safe. And then, Gary is exposed and the wedding doesn't happen. And then that leads into my whole, what if Zach and Fatima get married on the spot? Something like that. But that's not the point of this particular video. I'm thinking that either Andi herself is one step ahead of Gary or her friends kind of rally together and figure out, okay, something's not right about this wedding. We need to figure out what. So we need to work together in order to figure out why Andi is marrying Gary. And then, the other option is Andi somehow does alert the feds and they're the ones who try to find Jordan's location. Because isn't it kind of funny that his sister, who was Gary's previous fiance, who was pregnant with his child, just so happened to disappear? And Gary fed those lies to the feds about, Andi, she probably had something to do with Penelope's disappearance because she's like a jealous and scorned ex and whatnot. And if that's the case, why would Gary be so quick to marry her, even though it hasn't even been confirmed that Penelope is like gone yet, by the, law enforcement. So it just seems like there's way too much funkiness surrounding this entire situation for no one to go, I don't know if this makes sense. I'm going to look into this further myself. So I would like to think that Andi will be able to do this. And hey, kind of a long shot here, but what if we get some Jasmine action where Andi talks to the proper people to get Jasmine out of jail to take Gary down, because it's like, look, I know you hate me, but he's trying to make me marry him in order to avoid testifying against him to bring him down once and for all. Can you help me out? And then Jasmine's let out like a wild animal out of a cage. So I don't know. So we got the feds, you got potentially Jasmine, Fatima calling in reinforcements from Madam's crew. There are just so many options that could happen here, but I would love it if Andi in some way, shape, or form is semi-responsible for stopping the wedding from happening, as opposed to, oh no, she has to marry him in order to save Jordan. So technically Jordan is the damsel in distress and Andi's falling on the sword in order to save his life. I don't know. Then again, it's like, wait, even if she does marry Gary, what's going to happen to Jordan anyway? He's going to be like, hey, wait a minute, something's foul going on. It's like, so you say Andi had something to do with my sister's disappearance, yet you marry Andi. What's going on here, Gary? It just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying I want Jordan to die, but it kind of goes hand in hand with my other video about Gary's plan is completely stupid. So, yeah, what do you think? Who do you think could be the contributing factor to bringing Gary down? Is it Andi? Is it Jasmine? Is it the feds? Is it Fatima and her crew via her cousin Madam? Is it Tamara? I don't know, but yeah, this is pretty stupid. Okay, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.